we go. All right, Jen West and East, you know what? You wanted him back. We brought him back for you. Yes, we have him. He is our new quote unquote social Steve, Mr. Steven Dutzman. We are so happy to have you back to the general market. Jafra, we are ready for you. Are you ready for us, Steve?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, wow. You spotlighted me. It's great.
I'm all set for you. So
Okay.
we want to hand
So
it over to you. Take it away, darling.
great. So Jackie graciously reminded me today that my topic for this time is Facebook advertising, which is something that is kind of a confusing topic for a lot of folks. And part of that is because everyone that talks about it has a different strategy. And whether they be folks that are trying to sell their own programs and trying to motivate, etc. So what I thought I would do is kind of give you just the facts today, and then follow it up with a little bit of motivation. So I think the first thing we want to do, I may as well introduce myself very briefly. If you don't know who I am, my name is Steven Dutzman. I run SideQuest Solutions. I'm a marketing coach, social media manager, SEO specialist, website builder, etc. Been a part of my mother has been a part of Jafra for pretty much as long as I've been alive, I think, and so I know what you guys all go through, and I know how important it is to kind of learn the technology side of it, and that's why Jackie and Jackie bring me here. So Facebook is a market that kind of all of us are in on. The last couple of times I've talked, I've said things like, if you don't like Facebook, who cares? The market demands that you be on there. And so hopefully that has gotten through and everybody's in there using their groups and, managing their pages and producing content. If not, the best time to start that was yesterday. The second best time is now. But then advertising comes up a lot, right? We know that organic content, which is content that you just post and let the algorithm do what it will, doesn't do great sometimes. You'll see posts that you put up and they don't do super well. You might get a couple of likes. And then you'll hear people talk about how you can put money into Facebook and you can boost posts and you can pay for advertising, and that may kind of push your message out a little bit further. And so what I want to do is talk about two different ways that you can do that, where you can invest a small amount of money to help make sure that more of your followers or people who might be kind of in your target audience can see more of what you're doing, to get more likes on your page, to help grow your group, etc. One thing that is super important to know is that boosting a post and advertising on Facebook are not the same thing. You might see TikToks and YouTube videos and posts talk about them, and you may think, just based on the way the language is used, that those terms are interchangeable, because a lot of times people will, just the same person will talk about them both, and they're not the same thing. So what I'd like to do, I don't have slides today because I thought I would do kind of a live demonstration. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to, I can't screen share. Can Jackie or Jackie give me the superpowers so that I can share my screen?
Of course. Let me get you there.
You gotta make me a host, I think.
Yep, I'll make you a co-host if I can get myself there. So forgive me here. Let me just go this way really quick. I'm going to do it this way. Okay. All right. You are ready to roll.
All right. Great. Let me make sure I'm getting the right screen. Here we go. I have way too many windows open. Okay, so can y'all see this CVS ad?
Yes.
Great. So it's actually not CVS, it's a Grubhub ad. But so this is an advertisement on Facebook. And everyone has seen a billion of these probably in the last hour. This is when they're talking about advertising on Facebook, what they're referring to are any of these posts, they'll say sponsored on them. And one of the keys is they can appear anywhere. And that's one of the big differences between boosted posts and advertising. A Facebook ad, there's a lot more different options, but they can also put them in Messenger. You can put ads in, Reels, in, all over the place. You have more options with ads. Whereas boosted posts are just going to be in the Facebook feed. So as you're scrolling through the feed, this is my personal feed. So it's a bunch of my nerdy friends. But here we go, a PDF company with sponsored posts. We've seen those. These, if it's in the feed, it could be either a boosted post or an ad. But again, you have the ability to purchase ad placements that are Reels, which will appear anywhere people are watching Reels, or you can even have them go into Facebook Messenger. My recommendation for y'all, just as someone who has experimented with both of these, ads are a more technical process. There's more steps. You have to sign up for more accounts. There's more buttons to press. My experience is that unless you are really interested in kind of getting into the weeds, boosting posts is going to be easier for you to do because you're just going to post content, and there, if it's eligible to be boosted, there will be a button on it that says promote. And with that said, I'm going to let me bring up the chat because I can actually put some links to some instructional videos on how to set up ads. They're not mine, but they're the ones that I have used in the past. And so if you want to go down that route, you can go and just follow these instructions step by step, and they'll get you where you need to go. I'll put those in the chat before we are done. But just to show you how to boost a post and really how easy it is, I'm just going to do one on one of my accounts, and I'm just going to go all the way through except for pushing the button because I don't have anything that I want to boost right now. So one of my accounts is a family gaming website. I have an article that I promote pretty regularly about whether or not virtual reality is safe for kids. Fun fact, generally not, but whole thing, you can look at this article if you want. But the way you know whether or not a post of yours is eligible to promote is it'll have this wild blue promote button. If it doesn't have a blue promote button, that means for whatever reason, it's not eligible for to be boosted. Their explanations as far as why things aren't eligible to be boosted are they may as well be in another language. Just, if it doesn't work, try again. Generally speaking, sometimes it could be just time of day. But if you want to boost something, you hit the button and it will bring up this menu. And don't mind the music. I think one of my kids' alarms just went off. And so it'll bring up this menu, the boost post menu. So here I am doxing myself here, putting my phone number in. And what it will ask you to do once you actually have some of this information, it'll give you a preview of what your ad will look like. Again, it's got that sponsored title. And it'll actually show what the kind of what it'll look like. And one of the things that's really interesting about a boosted post is you can kind of choose what the button says. The default is a phone call. I have no interest in answering my phone to talk about virtual reality. So what I would do is I would pick something like send me a message so they could Facebook message me. And then it will, and what it'll do is it'll give you some options where you can go through and in this case, it'll actually put up a template. Some other options as far as, what you can have the button say could be shop now, where you would actually kind of give it a link and send them over to Jafra, or what I would probably recommend, I would recommend send a message so that you can directly chat with these folks. As all the people that went before me said, right? They all talked about building these relationships and being able to make personal recommendations. This stuff way better than any robot ever could. So by all means, have people message you so you can chat with them or direct them to call you, that type of thing. I just wouldn't randomly put your phone number out on the internet for all the reasons that I don't even need to describe. We're all, y'all are adults, So it gives you an option to say no button, but you don't want to use that. I would pick one of these options and go with it. Let's see here. Sign up actually is a little hack. If you do sign up, it'll actually send you to a website. And then you can put your Jafra website on there. So that's another way to deal with it. So the goal, which is at the top here, and again, I'm going to give you a video that'll walk through all this in order. I'm kind of going through as it's presenting it to me. Since I've done this before, it's not really onboarding me very well. You can decide what kind of a goal you want from your post. What that'll do is it'll kind of tell the boost what it's trying to do. So it'll actually send it to people that do these things more often. So if you want more engagement, right, you want more reactions, likes, shares, it'll actually send it to people who are more likely to react, comment, and share on stuff. I'm a lurker on Facebook, so I don't generally like stuff that I'm not very, very interested in. So if someone was promoting for engagement, they wouldn't show me the content because I'm not likely to do it. Getting more website visitors, again, this is going to send it to people who click off Facebook and are very comfortable, going wherever it takes them. In this case, it depends on what you want. None of these are bad. And so I wouldn't overthink this. I would just go for it, except for the phone calls one. Obviously, you probably would want to avoid that. So I'm just going to pick get more engagement. The big one is the audience. It's going to suggest an audience for you based on the people who engage with your site, your Facebook page more often. If you're kind of a broad audience, like me, it'll kind of give you a really broad suggested audience, which for my general audiences, it recommends 18 to 65 plus adults in the United States. If you target everyone, you get no one. That's just a rule of advertising. So you're almost always going to want to go to create your own. And this is how it works. I'm going to call this a test audience for you. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie and Jackie. My guess is that the target audience is generally going to be women. Am I wrong? Just not at
correct.
You're not wrong, bro.
That was just a shot in the dark. I don't know. And then your audience age better than I do. I'm just picking random stuff here. My recommendation, whatever you think it is, shoot it up a little bit higher and lower. Remember that this isn't the only people that they're going to send it to. This is just going to be the majority. And again, if you try something, maybe it's too narrow, you can always try again later and widen it. They are pretty flexible with experimentation. Other things that you can do, because you are all, you kind of get to decide how you want to deal with this, because you are technically all nationwide, right? You have a website that anybody could order. So you could target the United States. However, you can get pretty detailed. If you want to look at it, as far as targeting locations, you can target a zip code. Like if you want to just hit your hometown, go ahead. You can do it. If there is one thing that I do, this is a gaming site. I know if there's a big gaming convention, I'll actually hit the zip code of that gaming convention that weekend. So if there's a big wellness event, we talked about earlier that you're a wellness company. I agree for that. In case my agreement meant anything to anyone, but if there's a wellness convention or some kind of big women's retreat in your area, etc., you can actually hit that zip code, and you may be more likely to appear on all of their stuff. So it really does let you get pretty specific. Again, and you can target more than one zip code. You can really kind of keep adding them, and you can get really granular. That's up to you whether you want to do that, but it's an option. And some other detailed targeting. You can target demographics. You can target interests. Fitness, wellness. Let's see here. What are these? Shopping and fashion. So, you can get pretty wild as far as going in to the details. And this is what I would say. A lot of folks might assume, well, if I click all these, I'm cutting all these people off and I'm not going to reach them. Well, here's the thing. There's like 1 billion plus people on Facebook. Unless you're like really niching down to the point where you're trying to get like Gen Alpha and Gen Z kids who don't use Facebook anyway, you can really go really low as far as really specific markets and really specific demographics and interests, and you're still going to have a really big audience just based on the fact that there's just so many people using Facebook. Again, especially if you're targeting millennials and up from a generation perspective. Does that all make sense? I know I've been yapping a little bit. I don't know if anybody has any. Are there any questions in the chat?
There are definitely.
Anybody want to cuss me out?
Nobody's gonna come for you. They just have questions. So, one of the ones that I saw says, "Can you clarify? If it says sponsored, it means boosted?"
Technically, it could mean both. What I would say is if it's sponsored and it's in the feed, like your regular scrolling through Facebook feed, then it could be either one. If it looks like something that someone just posted on a Facebook page, then I would assume that it is a boosted post. Most of the ads that you'll see will have some kind of creative, like it'll be a video or there'll be some other function. Because again, ads have lots of different formats that they can use. So it really kind of, if you're trying to think about it, and now that I've mentioned it, you won't be able to not think about it. You're going to be scrolling through Facebook and you're going to see this. That's how you would tell on the feed. But if it's something in Reels, that's an ad. So if you're watching videos on Facebook and you see a sponsored thing, that's an ad. If it's in your Messenger, which can happen, that's also an ad. And also in stories. So if you're going through Facebook stories and clicking through all the people that you follow and you see a story from somebody that's not someone you follow, that's because it's an ad that they're paying. I don't know if that helps.
That does help. What's the range for costs of ads on Facebook?
You choose. So I was about to get to that. So let me get out of the demographic targeting thing. So for boosting a post, you actually choose your budget per day. And so in this case, I am, you pick a budget for how long you want to boost the post and you put your total. So 14, in this case, I'm picking $14 over 7 days. So $2 a day. The reality with Facebook marketing is they only charge you for accounts that they actually present the information to. You're not bidding against other places. It's not like on Google, if you've ever tried to do ad placements there, where you're kind of bidding against other people. And if other people pay more for the clicks, they get more. It doesn't really work like that. It will actually tell you, and in advertising, it works similarly. It's just in order to get to the point where you put the money in, it would have taken us like a half hour. And I didn't want to drive Jackie and Jackie that nuts because you've got more work to do. But right here, for $2 a day, it'll be, 150 to 450 additional accounts reached. If I were to bump that up, I'm just making stuff up here. Obviously, that's a big investment. I don't know that I would recommend that big. But again, it talks about an additional 11,000 to 34,000 accounts reached per day.
So essentially, it's operating within your budget for how many folks you ideally want to reach.
Correct. So you can absolutely, and I know that there are plenty of businesses that I work with that set up creative and just do regularly and they'll just boost posts for a week at a time every week for $1 a day. And if they do that, that's $30 a month, which is I mean, that's not nothing, right? I mean, we got on, obviously, in today's day and age, even $30, that's not even a tank of gas, right? So, I mean, that's certainly relevant, but a $30 investment just to, even at $1 a day, like if we put this up for $30, mark this to 30 days, it's an extra 100 people reached per day. I mean, I would pay $1 to cold call to have a machine cold call 100 people a day on Facebook. And so the value of doing a boosted post, if you have that money to invest, and I think just about everybody at this level probably is looking for the ways to spend to limit tax liability anyway. So $1 a day, $2 a day, you guys can do the math. And what you'll want to do is just make a really nice post, and then you can boost it for 30 days and then just update it every month. It's a relatively simple process. And again, I'm going to put the videos in the chat when we're done so you can see it. And that's it. I mean, I don't know if that answered everything. Are there any more questions?
There's a couple more. One is it best to tag a local location in your post or no?
I mean, if you're trying to drive business locally, yeah, I would say where you are.
Or if you're trying to open a franchise in another city or another town, you could tag that location too, if you wanted to branch out of your local area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're trying to do business locally, tagging the local, right?
Yeah.
Like figure out where you're going to be. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Killer. And then finally is, when would you choose automatic and why?
Automatic meaning up here.
I think so. Yeah. Just going a little ways more.
If you really realistically, automatic should be your default unless you have a very specific thing you're trying for. You all, like, my understanding, just based on my conversations with some of y'all and my experience, this is not the fact that I'm here doing training at 7:30 at night is none of us are professional marketers. If you're a professional marketer, you have an opinion, you have a direct advertising strategy where you're this piece of creative, I'm trying to get more engagement. This piece of creative, I want to get website visitors. If really what you're doing is to just put up one really nice thing and boost it for a month, just pick automatic and don't overthink it unless you are trying something specific. I don't think for the budgets that the people in this room are going to be using and for the scale that we're working on, you're probably not going to see a difference, right? It might be a couple of percentage points here or there, but a couple percentage points of 100 or 200 is not enough to spend more than a few seconds on, if that makes sense.
It does. Thank you.
Anything else?
There are no other questions in the chat, so take it away, Jack.
I'll put those links in the chat now.
Yeah, so thank you. We'll grab those links. We'll share them on our Facebook pages as well. So thank you for giving us that. We just had some comments like Mona saying, I spend $20 a month, staying consistent. She's getting 2 to 3 new orders every month. These are, again, random people that she wouldn't have met. Dia was out there. She sponsored someone from Alabama to earn the trip, be a trip contender. So absolutely, I think that name of the game is just do it. Get consistent, see where the hits land and set your budget. Every business has a budget for advertising. If you want to pay for a tabletop, you want to pay online, that's up to you. But I think marketing is that key. Imagine if all of us went out boosting and advertising, how much more Jaffer would be seen all over social media. And I think if we all just do it, it works, right? So anything else, Jack, that we had in questions? I see more comments. Anything popping up or anything else, Steve, that you would like to add to it? Oh, this is a good question. Sorry, I saw this one. Forgive me. So is the boosting going from your personal page or business page?
You're going to want to do that from, you can't boost posts on a personal page. You got to do it for your business page. And frankly, even if they open it up someday, I mean, who knows? Meta's wild. And they're competing with other companies. So even if they do let you boost from your personal page, I would not boost posts on a personal page. if for nothing else, because y'all aren't public figures. And I would, I don't know, I because the reality is if you're boosting it, that means it's sending your personal information to strangers. And for me, hoping for all of y'all's safety, I would prefer that your business stuff, that level of obfuscation is it just makes me feel better about it. So even if they let you do it from personal, I wouldn't do that. I would say, thank you, sir. I appreciate the option, but no, we'll let the comedians and, the Gen Z kids do that.
Yes, agree. Well, and Dia's got a comment. When she does Instagram, she's finding a younger market of results. So definitely love that tip. And
this process works on IG the same. It's almost the same process. So Dia is right.
Yeah, love that. Love that. And so there was one more. Oh, so Ashley said, it's always asking me to go on Marketplace with my advertising. So feedback on that one.
Is that okay with Jafra?
Yeah.
I mean, cool, do so as long as Jackie ain't gonna get mad at you. I mean, I'm not gonna...
that's a really good point. That's why I just was curious if you saw businesses or anybody with that.
I absolutely do it as long as Jafra ain't gonna get mad.
Yeah, it's not necessarily something that we stand for right now. Anytime you have questions, which I'm glad you said it. Thank you, Ashley, for the comment, because there is a policy and procedure guide. And we actually even made a new one. Many of you are advertising for consultants, for sponsoring. And if you go into Jafra Biz, we just made a brand new video. It should be coming to you in email fairly soon. That would be all about how to talk about income claims, right? So you can't say financial freedom. You can talk about start a business. So there's all sorts of do's and don'ts, and it's constantly changing by the FTC. So I know Marketplace in the current policy and procedure is not something that we want to see you working with. However, keep checking the policy because we are updating it. This is our year. We're going to update the entire policy and procedure book. And when you have questions, just ask and we will ask and we can bring in some of your legal team for those details. So you will see this new one coming about the income claims. It will be coming in your email. Jackie and I will be posting a connection to that video. So we are trying to let you know when we make massive updates, and then you'll have an entire new policy and procedure guide. Our goal is by the end of this year. So because Steve said something true, Meta's changing, Facebook's changing. I mean, just like you see, we can't stream or Zoom over to Facebook right now. There's a constant change, and there's also legalisms with FTC, the Direct Selling Association, all those things. And so we do our best. Jackie and I will never know all of them, but always look in your policy and procedure. And when there's updates, our goal is to keep you all updated, right? So I think that's everything. Am I missing anything, Jack, before we let Social Steve step away for the night and his kids and fam?
We can totally pay for ads. I'm just checking the thing. Yes, you can totally pay for ads. Will they announce the policy change? Yes. All
most
of the things.
Them. Yeah. Most of them. Yes, you got it.
But you'll be good. It's good.
Okay. Well, I hope this all empowered you to just hit the buttons. Say yes. Let's get going. You can boost. You can promote it. I wouldn't be putting my dollars and cents into Marketplace. I would be really focused on your business page as we learned tonight. And again, if you have particular questions, very specific, like Ashley's doing in the chat, send it to Jafra Cares at Jafra Cares, right? At Jafra.com. Copy Jackie and I. And when we get the feedback, it's something we can always put more in our training. All right. So we want to say a great big thank you out there from Connecticut to our Social Steve. Can we do a Jafra holla? Thank you so much, Steve, for bringing us the update. This was super helpful. We appreciate it so we can get more Jafra across the nation. All right. See you next time, Steve. Bye. Thank you so much.
Again.